Good day, my name is Bluesuit and today I'll be going over my review of the early access open world zombies survival crafting base defense action adventure exploration game known as Night of the Dead. In Night of the Dead you wake up as Lucy, the subject of human experimentation, left to die on an island inhabited by killer wildlife and hungry zombies. Taking inspiration from titles like 7 Days to Die, Night of the Dead focuses on collecting resources, building up your base defenses, and surviving ever-growing hordes of nightly undead attackers. Currently there's very little story in the game, only a handful of journal pages you can find scattered around the game's vast open world map. The idea is that you need to make contact with the outside world in order to be rescued, however it's not quite as easy as it sounds. You'll not only need to research and build radio parts, but also explore the island to discover the unique items you'll need to escape. My time with Night of the Dead is best summarized by saying that my expectations were far too low, and this game is actually kind of amazing. On the surface, everything about Night of the Dead, from the graphics to the artwork, screams generic zombie game. However, what I found in my first few hours of the game was anything but. First of all, the items that you can craft in-game really set Night of the Dead apart. Most titles in the genre are hyper-focused on giving the player a realistic experience for no good reason. In this game, however, the things that you can build are over the top and borderline goofy, but extremely fun to use. Base defense heavily relies on automated traps, so players will need to build large, complex gauntlets of hazards and obstacles to prevent zombies from reaching them at night. And because the hordes get noticeably larger every night, there need to be a lot of options for carving through the encroaching undead. There definitely need to be more traps before launch, but the ones that do exist, like the giant swinging pendulum and the compressor that mashes zombies as they walk under it, make it hilarious to sit back at night and watch the masses try to make it through your contraptions. And they become exponentially bigger and better the more friends you bring along in the game's multiplayer. The actual crafting mechanic does need some work, however. For starters, many of the items to craft require a long list of specific items, and there isn't currently a way to pin them to easily check what you need. And the second issue is that since you're going to be creating these large, complicated buildings, it would be nice if you could pre-build or lay down a blueprint and then add the materials in after you got everything right where you want it, a feature that's become a genre standard in recent years. Another thing that I completely underestimated in Night of the Dead was the map. I was very impressed with the diversity of the island once I got a chance to actually explore it. I started off in an industrial district, and it was pretty bland, honestly. Everything within a few square blocks all looked very similar. After several hours of base building, I figured it was time to branch out, so I started picking directions and just seeing what I could find. To my surprise, I ran into residential districts, convenience stores, a large underground network of subway tunnels, and a high school, and I was able to go inside nearly every single building out of the 100 or so that I found. In each one, there were zombies and precious loot rewarding me for my exploration. Even still, with my 17 or so hours of base building and exploring, I've only uncovered about 20% of the total map. The weapons and combat are also exaggerated and satisfying. You start off with a regular hunting knife, and the genre staples like baseball bats and lead pipes make an appearance, but as you get better at blacksmithing, you begin to unlock the more impressive and imaginative weapons like the two-handed greatsword. There's also a big two-handed hammer that makes an AoE explosion every time you swing it, and the pièce de résistance, the greatest zombie-killing weapon ever known, the lightsaber. I squealed with joy when I first saw it in the crafting menu, and spent the following 8 hours devoting my life to making it. While it doesn't yet have the signature sound effects, Night of the Dead's lightsaber is extremely powerful, allowing you to take out rooms of normal zombies at once, where earlier I would have had to aggro them one at a time with a ranged weapon. The only real downside that I will say about combat is that there aren't any defensive options. The ability to dodge or block would be excellent, as right now all you can do is attack or run away. On the other end of combat are the zombies, who get less and less chill with each passing day. I would feel strong and be slicing through them on my trips into town before I ran into some new variant with more health and different abilities. There are a surprising amount of unique zombies considering how early into development this is, and many of them can and will catch you by surprise. Before I discovered the Butcher, every undead up to that point had been melee only, so I never expected him to start hucking cleavers at me. I thought that my base was impregnable until I discovered the zombie that explodes into flames when it dies. And when your character finally dies herself, she loses a bit of max HP temporarily, but the zombies don't go away. So if you die to the horde inside your house, that horde will still be there when you respawn, destroying everything that you've built and possibly killing you again. The final really great part of Night of the Dead is the extensive skill tree. Through various actions you can gain research points to learn new skills in the fields of medicine, engineering, combat, and so on. The only one that I would say is like lackluster right now is cooking, since the only buff in the game right now is extra max health and stamina. Right now you can pick up Night of the Dead on Steam for $25, and while it does suffer from some very minor early access troubles like a lack of a real story or dedicated servers for the existing multiplayer, it's already a wonderful addition to the zombie survival genre even on day one of early access. With its fun and addicting combat and crafting, and a huge world filled to the brim with buildings and neighborhoods to explore, I'm valuing Night of the Dead at $28, and I highly recommend it to fans of the survival crafting genre, especially those who enjoyed 7 Days to Die. I hope you enjoyed this review of Night of the Dead. Come see me on Twitch where you can watch our reviews in progress 5 nights a week. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you thought about it. Until next time, peace!